Welcome to Midlife Unlimited, Live for Five or thereabouts. I'm your host, Kate Porter, the Midlife Metamorphosis Coach, and I am delighted to be joined on quite an auspicious day, really, because not only today is my episode 49 out with the wonderful Nina de Sausmarez, confidence coach for women and anyone really, but also I've put out an episode 50 as well that's just me. So Nina and I are going to give a taste, not of my episode, but of our episode that's available now, wherever you listen to your podcasts, how to practice living midlife your way. So welcome, Nina. It's wonderful to have you here to help me celebrate. Woohoo!
Congratulations! That is such a milestone. I mean, being 50 is a milestone anyway, but 50
Well, that's
podcasts.
it. I mean, I thought, bless her, Midlife Unlimited. I say she is a her. She's our little acorn, and she's turned the big 50. So, and she's got her
Wow.
first birthday coming up in December. Anyway, but enough about. Well, we're talking about action. Yeah, perfectly imperfect action. But you and me, we are bloody brilliant examples of midlife metamorphosis in action, I think, aren't we? And we talk a lot about fake it till you make it, but it can give you the ick, can't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people really struggle with the idea of fake it till you make it, because particularly being women, we are taught to mask and cover up and not be ourselves, not allow ourselves to fully express who we are. And so we've kind of really grown up in this narrative that who we are isn't who we're really allowed to be. And so we try to fake it a lot. But actually, when we're faking it, that's a really, really difficult and challenging way to be, because when you get there, have you actually got there as yourself or someone else? And then how do you then become yourself? So it's a really confusing way of being, like fake it till you make it. I'm more kind of like be it till you believe it, or believe
No,
it till you be it. You can use those kind of
absolutely.
like swapped around. That one works for me, but a lot of people love fake it till you make it. It's all really
Well, I was just saying to you on my walk yesterday, I was listening to the Graham Norton show where the glorious Taylor Swift was there, and she was saying that she is a big fan of fake it till you make it and has been doing it, obviously, with great success, but it's not for everyone. And I think it brings into question as well self-worth and self-belief and feelings of not being enough, because if you're having to pretend, if you're having to put on a mask, if you're having to conform or bring those blinking shoulds into play, you're not being yourself, and it's not going to sit right, is it? It's not going to feel aligned. So I love the be it, believe it. I'm having a moment.
Yeah, believe it till you be it till you
That's
believe
it.
it. Yeah.
It's all too much. It's all too much.
A lot of
But
words.
that feeling of not, I mean, you're very raw, and I love that in our episode. You're very honest, and that's what I love about you as well. You're like me. You tell it like it is.
Mm,
You're not wearing a mask. We've done that.
mm.
But feelings of not being enough, and perhaps playing, and I don't use the word playing in a flippant way, but playing the victim is something that you did when you were younger, wasn't it?
Not just younger though, Kate. I did it, way well into kind of like almost my 40s, and it became
Yeah.
a way of survival. I learned that when I could express myself as poor me, that I could have people check in on me. I felt more validated. I would get more attention. Obviously, at the time, I didn't realize I was doing it,
No.
but I'd learned that, life was never going to be good. I was never going to get anywhere. I was never going to be good enough. And I made that decision about myself based on a lot of my circumstances growing up. And so I kind of became a character of being the victim. Now, what does that look like? Well, I was pretty much kind of like down on the ground most of the time, waiting for things to come in and save me. And that became my kind of like survival mode. And I
You're
held on to
powerless,
it.
really, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, but that was kind of my power, to be
Yeah.
powerless. But I didn't
Yeah.
realize it. It's such a strange way of being, but I think so many people listening to this will recognize it. I almost stopped myself from being good, because if I was good, who was going to listen? Who was going to pay me attention? Who was going to check in on me? So it's been such an unlearning and a relearning of, it's really safe for me to come out and say, I'm great. I'm in a really good place. I don't have to play that character anymore.
Because you really did have a eureka moment, or a eureka experience, and was it 46? Am I right in saying?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah, a real midlife moment. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I took my time. I like to take my time with these things, but
if it's worth doing, it's worth waiting for sometimes, isn't it?
exactly. It happened when it happened. And for me, it was kind of like, when you start asking yourself those bigger life questions, it was in the back of my mind, like, is this it? I had a great marriage, two absolutely fabulous kids, an incredible life on the surface. I had a lovely job working as a teaching assistant in a school next door to my house. On the surface, everything looked great, but there was this real inner niggle of there's something that I'm missing. Is this really my lot? And sort of like it tied in with kind of like losing my mum and lots of kind of trauma from my childhood coming to the
Yeah.
surface. And I wasn't in a good place, but I pretended to be. Everyone that knew me would never have known that anything was wrong inside.
That
But
old mask again, isn't it? Yeah.
there was this really low grade anxiety and this really kind of heavy energy. And I would wake up feeling like that every day, get through the day, get to the end of it. Lots of wine was involved at the end of the day. And it was
Oh,
not
yeah.
a good, healthy cycle. And my brother sent me a couple of books. And one of those books, talk about a lot more about this in the podcast, was called You're a Badass. And by an incredible coach called Jens. I never know if it's Sincero or Sincero, but hey, we'll go with either of those.
Yeah.
And it was a light bulb moment for me. Number one, because I'd not done any work on myself, the work, like really looking at myself, looking at how I spoke to myself, how I was showing up in the world, how I was looking at it, who I was blaming. And it was like turning every page. It was like, she's literally written this book about me. And actually, I felt angry, I felt grief, I felt sad, I felt frustrated, because I realized that I really could do something about changing my life. But all this time I was blaming it on everybody for who I was being. And I had to kind of grieve all of that time that I'd wasted. I hadn't wasted it. I was obviously in my process. And here I was now going, oh, I really have got the power to do something about that. But that's the really scary part, Kate. It's when you learn you can actually change your life. It's not that you're afraid of, the idea of it, the actual doing it and who you might become, and also who you might leave behind as a process. For a lot of people, and definitely for me, was really scary.
Yeah, because it takes away the opportunity, and I use the word opportunity in an ironic way, to make excuses, doesn't it? Because part of the blame game is, oh, I would do that, but those lovely but this happened and that's happening and I can't because of this. And it's putting all these different excuses in your own way, and you're the one putting the excuses. But that's why I've said it before, but the power of the word yet as well can really, really help reframe and change these circumstances around. But we talk a lot about cheerleaders, which I love. I'm a huge cheerleader, and so are you. And we actually met through a mutual cheerleader. So hello, Sophie.
Hi,
Send you a wave. But also we talk about the realization that we don't have to settle, which is, you were saying just now. But one of the golden nuggets that as a takeaway, and there are many, so you've got to tune in wherever you listen to your podcast to hear everything, but finding the joy. And that's such a precious word to both of us, because obviously it's your middle name and it was my grandmother's name. But another 3 letters that's so powerful. And again, it doesn't have to be earth-shattering, monumentous joy, does it? It can be the simple blinking things.
And I love the word like cultivate joy, like actually really intentionally. For me, where I'm at now in my journey is every single day there is joy everywhere, all around me. I don't even have to find it. And what does that look like for me? It can literally be waking up in my bed and looking at the clouds for a minute. It can be holding on to my cup of coffee, feeling it in my hands and smelling it and thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. And it was something that I thought just was out of my reach before I'd kind of gone into this work and really looked at myself. And I quite often used to look at people who were quite happy all the time and think they're really fake. Nobody can feel that kind of happiness. But actually now I protect it. I work at it like going to the gym. I teach it in a lot of the coaching and the mentoring that I do, because everybody can access a greater level of joy. We're not saying that we feel it all the time, Kate, because life's and we go up and down. But when you're
and that would take away the meaning as well, because you can't be up, you can't be down. You know, it's about finding the balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, as I say, we share so many golden nuggets and so many tips and insights in our episode. So we won't give any more away, I think. But what I will say is, obviously, all your contact details are in the show notes for our episode and in your guest profile on the Midlife Unlimited podcast website. But for the benefit of viewers, could you just talk us through how we can get in touch with you, your website, and anything you've got coming up, or how to get in touch so we can keep tabs on what's coming up?
Well, you know what's brilliant about me? There are quite a lot of things I'm going to say. I'm going to brag. Let's all brag. Let's learn how to brag. If anybody looks for me, all they need to do is type my name, because there is not one single Nina de Sausmarez. So, you know, if you can find me by looking up my name, then you will discover my website, you will discover my Facebook, you will discover my Instagram, and you will discover my LinkedIn. I will be speaking at an amazing event next week on the 17th called Unmasked, which has been beautifully curated by Joanna Wood, who is a
previous midlife. Well,
was she?
Yeah, right at the beginning, just as she announced it, it was it's how to unmask, or how to rip off the mask as a midlife woman is our go back and listen, viewers. And she's got a live for 5 as well. So no, it was right at the beginning of the journey when she just announced it. I had her on. So
that is amazing. I actually am part of one of the unmaskers, so I had my photographs done, but I'm a guest speaker as well. So you can go and find Joanna Wood and you can grab a ticket if you want to come to that. You can come and look at kind of the coaching that I do, the packages that I offer. Everything is in my links on my socials or on my website. I'm very, very visible on social media, so it's very, very easy to find me. I love talking to people. I love hearing people's stories. So yeah, if you've got anything you want to...
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's all about the conversations. And that's why it's been wonderful to have you as part of Midlife Unlimited.
Thank
as
you.
we celebrate her turning 50. Oh my goodness me. And I'd love to hear from you all as well. So you can come and get in contact with me. Again, all my social links, my website, the Midlife Unlimited podcast website details are in the show notes and on the website itself, where there are details of my midlife metamorphosis coaching. But also, drum roll, please, to celebrate episode 50 and just being fabulous, my school community, Pop Your Podcast Cherry, is now free. So go and join. Yes, FREE, free. Come and join. There's training. There's a Monday coffee club on Zoom. Inspiration, probably a bit of perspiration, as we turn you from a nervous wannabe podcast, put my teeth in, that'll help, podcast get into the expert that everyone wants on their podcast. And also, if you've been procrastinating and playing with the idea of launching a podcast, we're going to help you start recording. See what I did there? Stop playing, start recording. Right, enough about Pop Your Podcast Cherry. Thank you, Nina, for joining me. It's been a joy, as always. Have a wonderful time at Joanna's event next week, later this month. I can't wait to see all the pictures. Sadly, I won't be there in person, but I will be there in spirit, because I feel I've been in right from the word go. Lovely. Yes. Here's to being fabulous and flourishing together, and to living midlife unlimited. Thanks, Nina. It's been a joy.